So season 1 of The Last of Us is finally over. I didn't make a review and breakdown. I feel like there wasn't really a need for analysis there, so I decided I wanted to make this video instead. Today, we are going to rank every single episode in the first season of The Last of Us and put it on a tier list. I'm actually already working on another video for BoJack Horseman, so hit that like button, sub if you're new to make sure you don't miss that. Anyways, let's get into it. The first episode of The Last of Us is called When You're Lost in Darkness. This takes place in 2003, and we get to see the beginning of the outbreak. Also showing how Joel's daughter dies. I really love Sarah's actress's performance here. We also get the introduction to Ellie, and we see how Joel and Ellie meet for the very first time. Most of the episode is in 2003 just to show how it all started. Something that I really wish they did is do more of the cold openings. The cold opening for this was amazing. It was a specialist talking about the cordyceps and how they could evolve. It explains the virus very well for any new fans of the series. It also adds some horror elements. A lot of just creepy moments come from this.
Cordyceps, aspergillus, any one of them could become capable of burrowing into our brains and taking control, not of millions of us, but billions of us, permanently fixed on one unifying goal: to spread the infection to every last human alive. And there are no treatments for this, no preventatives, no cures. They don't exist. It's not even possible to make them. We lose.
But the other half of the episode is just as good. I really love that they added the part where Joel was looking back at his daughter when Ellie was about to get shot by the police officer. I think that was a great touch and something that was definitely missing from the game. I think it really hammers in the point that Joel does have a heart. That shit stank. Not really a lot of complaints from me for this episode. The only complaint I really have is just this one scene with Ellie.
7, 8, fuck you.
Maybe I might be the only one. Maybe I'm being too hard on Bella. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This scene just made me like, ugh.
That shit stank, don't it? Ugh.
Nah, but to be serious, this episode was amazing. I would put it in S, but I feel like there's so many better episodes in this season that I feel like I kind of have to lower it just to make the tier list a little even. So I'm gonna put this at great/A. If you disagree and you want to put it at S, I completely understand. Maybe you fucking hate this episode. Maybe you didn't like any of the performances, but I loved it. So yeah, I'm gonna put it at A.
Hell World.
Episode 2 starts with another amazing cold opening. Like I said, I really love these cold openings and I wish they did this throughout the entire series. This one right here literally physically made me cringe. And I don't even like using the word cringe. That's how you know it really was serious.
Tidak ada obat dan tidak ada vaksin.
Jadi apa yang harus kami lakukan?
Bom. Mulailah pengoboman.
The first time I saw that, it actually gave me chills, and like I said, it made me physically cringe. I absolutely loved the like creepy horror type of elements that they added to this virus that engages you, and it puts you into the world that they're living in right now, making you feel what they feel, making you feel that hopelessness that Joel feels. And of course, the episode is called Infected, so the rest of the episode does clarify on what the infected can do and the special kind of ability that they have. For example, they actually introduced something brand new into the show. If you step on any kind of area that's been infected with the fungi, it will alert all zombies that's been infected by that fungi. I'm really glad that they added this element to the series because I feel like it's something fresh and new. And honestly, it makes me even excited for the games because Neil Druckmann recently said that he's going to be looking at the shows for inspiration as well. Another great scene in this episode is when they have the clicker fight in the museum. We get to see the clicker in live action. It looks great. It kind of looks a little weird with the animation, but I'll give them a pass. And of course, the finale scene where Tess does die, and the way the zombie acts towards her kind of makes me think that there's still human fragments left in their brain. Like, to me, the zombie looks like it's putting her out of her misery. I genuinely feel like this episode is a S tier. And you might be thinking, there's no way this is better than the first episode. In my personal opinion, I feel like they added a lot more cool elements to this. In the game, this part really isn't one of my favorites, but they made it a lot better in the show, and I really do like it. And we get to what is considered the best episode of the series, peak, everyone's favorite. In my opinion, yeah, it's really, really good, but it's not the best one. You'll see later which ones I think are better, but I thoroughly enjoyed this episode when I first watched it. If you were going to watch the series just because of Joel and Ellie, you will not like this episode. If you are homophobic, of course, you will not like this episode. I think all that shit is silly. I think it's amazing for what it is. I do agree with the criticism that I feel like maybe they did focus a bit too much, but I feel like if you were going to explore a relationship, you gotta go all out or just not do it at that point. That's how I feel, at least. I kind of hate when there's like half-baked relationships in movies. For example, MJ in the original Spider-Man, like I feel like their whole dynamic fucking sucked and nobody actually cared about like the relationship. This made me care about the relationship. I actually wanted them to live and see what else they would do. When a show can make me like these characters and care about these characters in a matter of 40 minutes, that's how you know they did something good, bro. So yeah, of course, I will be putting this at the S tier, right above Infected. Now, if I'm gonna be 1000% honest, this episode, it was needed, but I feel like it could have been done in a better way. To elaborate on that, this is the episode where they get ambushed and they kind of bond together. It is very nice to see, and it's not like it's a bad episode or anything. It's just that not a lot happens here. They also introduced Kathleen, which in my opinion, her character is cool and all, and I understand the parallels to Abby and Revenge and all that. And as a TV character and watching her on my monitor, I did not give a zero fuck what happened to her. Honestly, I was just waiting for her to die. The highlight for this episode to me is genuinely Ellie's joke books. It's so stupid. It's such a dumb segment of the show, but I actually enjoyed those scenes. Like, it just felt wholesome. It felt very, very nice to not see kids die on my screen. Very in between, putting it in mid, but at the same time, there are a few moments that make this really entertaining and really just nice to watch. So I'm gonna put it at good. Another episode that some people might consider the best, which in my opinion, it is not, but it's up there. It is very, very close up there. In this episode, we explore Sam and Henry after they were seen at the end of the last episode. I feel like this episode will be a very, very important part of season 2 and Abby because of the whole revenge concept going on here. Kathleen wants revenge for her brother and is willing to kill whatever and whoever to get that done. I feel like if they made Kathleen a little bit more sympathetic here, it would have been better for the audience. It would definitely connect to you a lot more if she was more sympathetic, because you would feel for her. You'd be like, oh damn, what Henry did was fucked up. But to me, this entire time, like, yeah, what Henry did was fucked up, but it was needed for the kid. And the second that he even tried to explain that, she was like, kids fucking die, get fucked, bitch. So yeah, that just made me like not feel bad for her at all. So when I saw her get torn up by that fucking zombie, best believe I was cheering like I was at a football game. And of course, I can't forget the bloater that was shown this episode. This was the only bloater in the whole show. I really wish they did a lot more with the special infected or just infected in general this season, but bloater looked amazing in its CG glory. No complaints at all from me. I love the way that they brought back the animation from the game. Overall, I absolutely love this episode. It is going straight up to S, right at the very top. I almost completely forgot what happened in this episode, but there was actually a lot that happened. Joel finally meets Tommy again. We meet Tommy's wife. You also see a preview of Dina. If you're wondering what I mean, Dina is from The Last of Us 2. There was a conversation in The Last of Us 2 that said that they both met each other at this moment.
What?
What's wrong with you?
What about her manners?
It's a nice little detail, and as a fan of the series, it definitely made me fucking nerd out. You also get two very iconic scenes with the Joel and Tommy arguing and the Joel and Ellie arguing.
Everybody I have cared for has either died or left me. Everybody fucking except for you! So don't tell me that I'd be safe with somebody else, because the truth is, I would just be more scared.
Like I said, a lot of things actually do happen in this episode. Like at the end, Joel gets stabbed. I would have loved if they did the whole impale scene from the actual game, but obviously this is a way more realistic way to go about it. So I don't inherently have an issue with it. It's just a lot more lame compared to what actually happened in the game. Honestly, a pretty good episode. I don't think I can put it under good or mid or anything like that, so I'm gonna put it at great, right under episode 1. Now this is where I'm gonna have to remind you that this is all my opinion. This is not objective. You can't objectively rate shows. Well, I guess you can, but not really. This is all my personal opinion, all subjective. I will say right now, I do not like this episode at all. I just kind of thought it was boring. Not a lot of shit happened throughout the whole thing. I understand it's important for Ellie's lore, but even in the game, I did not care for the DLC at all. Like, I barely recently beat it just so I could see the differences between the show and the game, and honestly, there weren't a lot. I was really hoping the show could make it a lot better and a lot more enjoyable to watch, but really, it just kind of felt like teenagers walking around in the mall. Like, that's all that was going on. Like... And I don't know, like all the other episodes, I don't need action to make me enjoy. It's just I couldn't get into this episode for some reason. I even rewatched it before I recorded this video. And yeah, I did not enjoy it. Unfortunately, this might have to be the only to make it in mid. Now, here is what I consider my favorite Last of Us episode so far. This is the episode where you meet Dave and Ellie is trying to get supplies to heal Joel up. Ellie eventually gets captured by David and his crew, and she learns that they're actually a cannibal crew. She has to try to find a way to escape while Joel tries to find her. There's iconic scenes like Ellie fucking killing David smacking the fuck out of a kid. I don't know why he did that. And of course, Joel interrogating people. There's also this one part that was also in the game that I always thought was really funny. And they're about to like chop her up, right? And she was like, oh, I'm infected. And that like made them question everything. And then Ellie just picks up the machete and just fucking kills Troy Baker. This is why I have to say that this is all subjective, because my favorite part of the game was the whole snow area, which is what this episode is based off of. And this ended up being my favorite episode in the entire series. I'm not saying that's the only reason why I like it so much, but I will admit when I'm biased, like you could probably say episode 3 is better and I won't disagree with you. But personally, I really enjoyed this episode. Like I said in the beginning, it's going straight up at the very, very top at S. Kyoto. For a season finale of a show, this definitely did not disappoint. I loved almost every single minute of it. It was kind of short at the 40-minute runtime, but I completely understand. All they could really do at the hospital was that one scene. But I'm very, very glad that they also added Ellie's mother to this. It also kind of explains her immunity. Kinda, sorta, maybe. I'm not sure if they confirmed that's exactly why she's immune, but that's kind of what they're leading to, isn't it? There's not really much to say about this episode. I wish there was more. There was kind of this one part. Oh, actually, there was something a little interesting. There was kind of an Abby cameo. Some people say that they saw like pigtails at a certain scene. I'm not sure. I really couldn't find anything about it, but I remember people on Twitter talking about it. There was also a scene where one of the nurses is actually Abby's voice actress. So I wonder if they're gonna switch up the story for The Last of Us 2 in that way and make Abby a nurse, and having her dad die in front of her would like be even more horrific. Yeah, like I said, there's not a lot to talk about with this episode, but it doesn't mean it's a bad one at all. It's a really, really good finale and perfect for what it is. I'm gonna put it at A. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please hit that like button. If you're new and you love this video, hit that sub button. We're gonna do more like this. I have a tier list getting made for BoJack, and I'm kind of, I'm trying to see if I should do Barry, because Barry is gonna be on its last season next month. Well, actually this month when you see this, but we'll see what happens. If you guys have any more suggestions for tier list, if you guys want to see any more content like this, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much again, like I said. And SA out. I'll see y'all next time.